Hello, good day. My name is Jude Chukwudi Ilobelu. I'm your coordinator and your facilitator for this program. Today is the 8th of Excel class. In our last class, we were able to look at uh, how to build an interactive dashboard from the scratch. And in today's class, I would like to go further on building the dashboard to add some important functionaries. We would like to, this time around, not only build the interactive dashboard from the scratch, we want to also make it interactive. That means it's a dashboard that can be able to be updated. Apart from that, we also look at the use of calculations in generating some KPIs for our dashboard, and also look at critically how we can apply the use of and how we can format slicers and our timelines when we do that. So the data set that we have here is a Coca-Cola data set which we have used previously in our class. We want to now use it to develop the dashboard. So this is our table. As you can see, this is a raw table file, and because I wanted to generate an updating data, I took the Coca-Cola data set and splitted it into two not basically equal halves. The data is around 3,775 rows. So in the first data, I have only just 2,000 rows, and the remaining I kept for data 2, which we are going to use as time goes by. So having this, the first thing we need to do is to format our table. And to format your table, all you need to do is just to click on any portion within the table framework, and you go to your format table as. Once you get there, you open it up. You can pick whatever you want to use as a formatted table to do your work. Most time I advise you don't go for the darker tables because it doesn't present you well as a data somebody. It is not the color that makes the work. So I just pick any color here. It will circulate the region of my work, and it also tells me that my table has a header, so I will click OK. Once that is done, my table will be formatted accordingly. And adventure, you don't like the color that was given, you can always come here and make a change and pick whatever you like. So we can so do the same thing for our second table. Let's maintain the same level. Come here too and pick the same color, and we'll have formatted table 1 and table 2. So we're using our data 1 to develop our dashboard. So having done that, the next thing to do is to create a pivot table. And how do you create a pivot table? You click on any aspect, and just as we did in the table that we created now, once you click any table, you come to your insert, you go to your pivot table. You can go to pivot table, you can go to your pivot chart, you can even go to pivot chart and table, but I always like to start with my pivot table. So when you have done that, it will develop an interactive kind of circulating dotted lines that covers the region of your work, with some pivot table creation, the table name, you can change it if you wish. You want this work to, your working to be in a new worksheet. So once everything is in order for you here, you click on OK. So with the OK, you can now have a new worksheet. So basically, when you want to create a dashboard, it is not always sweet and nice to overpopulate with too much of diagrams. It makes your work looks immature. What you need to do is to look at the key performance indicators, which are the KPIs, which need to be seen as they interact with different um, variables in your work. You can see how it turns out. That is what you need to see. So when you look at our pivot table field, you see that the columns that we have in our data one are all appearing in the way they appeared, starting from retailer until you end at operating margin. So when you go to our sheet 3 where our pivot table is, see it starts from retailer and it goes down up to operating margin. So you now look at the columns and you ask yourself, what are you looking for? What are the key performance indicators for this work? Moreover, whenever you pick, most time it's always better you look at it mostly from the categorical perspective and measure perspective. We have measure those values that can be used for calculation, and category the one that have a kind of a text or a name that we can always use as a variable to understand what we want to do. Looking at this, you can see we have retailer ID, invoice date, we have region, state, city, beverage brand. So something like delivery company is a name, a categorical name, region, and the rest. You can now look at what you want to get. What are those indicators you feel should be seen as the change with the interaction with measures? So we can decide on our own to say, okay, we'll be taking the region, for instance. Want to see how the regions are performing. And if we have the region, want to juxtapose our region with some particular criteria like sales. What is the total sales? What is the average sale of the region? So when we click on region, for instance, we see that we have populated our work with values, but these values are not well defined. So are we looking at sales? Of course, there will have to be values. So to do that, we'll come to the value setting. We click on the value setting and we'll come down to format, number format, because a number just appearing on. We'll come to accounting or we'll come to currency. Most work, there have been a kind of debate. Some people like to use accounting, others like to use currency. But the actual thing is to show that this is a value that is currency rated. So you want the value to be closer to the amount, you put up your currency, and you want it to be further from it, you put up accounting. So if I decide to put on currency, you see it's giving me what I should be seeing as currency here. And because I don't know how the work will look like, it's better I remove the decimal places first of all. Then it's showing me the symbol in dollar, sorry, in pounds. The reason why it's showing in pounds is that in the setting, when you go to your back end, which is my first class, you can change this setting there to automatically reflect whatever you wish, but that is what is there, maybe by default. But if you don't like the sign to be coming as pounds from this calculation, you click down and you go and search for the value. In this case, we are using the US dollars. So once we have done that, click on OK, and you click OK again. Secondly, we are looking at the sum. We can also look at other things here. So we can leave it first at the sum and see what else we can do about it. So from here we see that these values are in different it has been arranged based on the different region. So we can go ahead to name this our pivot. We can go ahead to name the pivots, name the sheet first of all. We can call it the sales by region. Sales by region. Okay, so we can go ahead again. We can okay. So we can start to duplicate this column, create a new column, sales by region, and we can now change this. We can even go ahead to create more columns. Doesn't matter the name, which you can always change, because we'll be needing maybe about 4 charts. We'll just create it up now. Sales by region 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is okay. So I can now go ahead to change these names and the values. So what else do we want to do here? We have worked with is we can look at the beverage brand. We can look at the brand now. And brand, want to see the profit that this brand are giving us, operating profit. Okay. So we pick on the operating profit and we remove the region, and we remove the sales. So we want to just see the brand and the profit that are accruable to the different brands, and this is what we have. Can also format it again as we did the last time. We'll go to value setting and go to currency, remove the decimal, convert this to dollar sign. We're okay. So this is showing us the profit by brand. So we can go ahead and also rename this. I'll call it profit by brand. Okay, so we'll go to the third one. We'll now look at the indicators again. We want to see how the states are performing. Maybe you want to look at the unit sold, or want to look at how the sales okay. So we'll look at the unit indicator sales per state. Let's also see how the states are faring in terms of sales. So we'll have this as our sales. Of course, you can see that it's quite large, and we would like to now do something else with this, but we'll come to that when we continue in our formatting. Here we'll now write what? sales by state, sales by state. Okay, then the last thing we want to do, just to make our work concise, we want to also see what else we can do here. We have looked at we have not looked at retailer. We can also see the retailers by the units sold. Okay, let's look at retailers as opposed to units sold. Then we remove the region and look at units sold by retailer. So this is in units, in numbers. Okay, so having this, we can now rename this also as so quantity sold by retailer. Okay, so we have this as quantity sold by retailers. Can also show it as a percentage, and then we can go ahead to format it, and it's coming in percentage. Want to see if it's in order. Okay, so it's in order. Okay, so we have quantity sold by retailers. I would like looking at it in terms of percentage, and then we have sales by state, profit by brand, sales by region. Then we also want to do one more thing. Now we want to go ahead to put our visuals, what we want to see. But first of all, we'll kind of differentiate our work using different varying color tab to help us to understand what is for what as far as this work is concerned. Our data are in red. Can put up our colors at the work we intend to visualize by different colors, which is brown. Okay, so this is in brown. Also need to now create two more additional tables. The first table here, we are going to call it our calculations. This is where we're going to perform our calculations, and then we still need for calculation. We may take maybe blue, and we'll do the last one, which is our dashboard. Okay, so for dashboard we will pick a color, maybe green. Okay, so also bring the dashboard forward, and then we can bring our calculation close to our it's not a convention, just for convenience. Okay, so look at sales by state. So for state by state, we want to have a geographical figure that covers it. So the first thing we do is to look at our field setting. First of all, go to our layered print, and then we like to do some settings. Show item to be labeled in tabular, and we can also repeat the label if possible. So we'll come to our work, because bringing these values to geographical, which is under insert, will not allow you to perform. You can see, we'll Control V, just shift to avoid the grand total, or you can go to your design and they remove it, the grand total for now. But it's not spoiling anything for me here. For instance, I want this to appear in geographic, and I click on it. You see, so you can't create this chart type with data inside a pivot table, so it's not going to work. So what do we do? For you to create this, you copy this table, you copy the table, come over and you go to home tab, and you paste. What you're pasting is just the values and not the pivots already created there. Just want the values, you click on the values and you click OK, and I almost like to have it on the same weight value. So when you have done this, you now go back to insert and you go to map, bring up map. So you wait for it for BT to populate. So when you want to do this, ensure that your data is on. If your data is on, it can be able to allow you to put up your map value. Okay, we can continue with other ones. We'll come back to it later. So for this, I can click on the insert and go to click on any one the map and go to insert, go to recommended value. I would like to have it as a pie chart, so I click on OK. It brings up the pie chart for me. So the next thing I do, I go to feed button, click on hide all, so that it will be good for visualization. Then we can also perform other functions of formatting, and come and click on this, and then you add label to your chart. Click on any of them and make it go to home, and bolding it, maybe change, leave it for this. Our problem is the dark end here. Okay, for now we'll leave it like this for now. As we continue to work on our work, we can remove the formatting, but if you want to do that, let's bring it back first and see. We can format the legend first and see what we need to do. go to, okay, can remove it, come over, we'll look for the best solution. Okay, this looks nice, but we have not finished our formatting. Can leave it like this for now. So what is the name for this? We'll put the name for guidance, which we'll see remove later when we'll do the general formatting for the dashboard. This is quantity sold by retailers. Control B. So correct this here. Okay. So look at the sales by brand. I want to okay. So we can look at the layout to see the possible what we're seeing here. We're seeing as the best chart as a bar chart, but assuming we don't want to use bar chart, we can maybe close this and go back, copy this just as we did before, copy it and bring it out, go to V, maybe before we paste, we'll paste with just pasting the value only so that I don't have issues. Okay, so we can now come to our insert. When you go back to this recommended value, you see that you have more charts recommended this time, not just the bar chart. So we can decide to take this and click OK. So when we have taken this, what we do is that you see that this interaction is coming from this. It is not captured in a pivot, even though pivot may not give us this value. So what we are going to do is to direct this value back to the pivot so that we can be able to remove this, since it will not be beneficial for us as we engage in the pivot work. So what do? We come to select data, click on it. You see that we have it here. So you come to the data range, you remove the D and you replace it with column A. So you write A, then you come to column E and replace it with column B. So once you have done that, you click on OK. You see that the direction has shifted. So you can go ahead and delete this and also this. So you see that our pivot now is now directed to this data chart. So we can now do some level formatting. Want to see the data label. So can also bolding it. Make it bold. So we are seeing the values. So we still need to format. You can come here and format the data series, telling you the gap. Do you want it to be reduced? I want it to be increased, enhanced. It's at your discretion. You can do other formatting here. Okay. Assuming you want to do leave it at this first. Okay. So you want to do more data, whatever, like the vertical axis. What do you want to do? You want to broaden it? You can do that from here. You can also check a data label. Okay. So look at our sales by region. You can also do something about our sales by region. We can format it just using the recommended value, or we can look at the bar or click OK. So do little formatting here. Come to your chart analyze, come to fit button and hide it. You can also format this. You can increase the width. You can vary the colors. You can also come over here to data label and make it to appear this way. Click on it, go to home and make it to be bold. Then you can also change the color a bit to red. So you can still do more things. Come to your click on format deadline. You want to see category name together with it. You can do that so that you can remove this and also remove these two. Then you can also remove this. So here is sales by region. Sales by region, Ctrl B, so enhance this. Okay. We can also look at the width. For visibility's sake, make it more bolder. Sometimes I like putting solid line on the border. Go in yellow. Okay. That also increase the category name so that we can be able to remove this to free more space for our work. Okay. We'll change the type now. We'll call it profit by brand. Ctrl B. We're still going to make some format table. Let's continue first. Now we're coming back to our state. No. So it took time for it to come because I had network issue. But once you have done this, you have there's other key, but when you hover around, you need to do some key work here so you can be able to use it. And remember, the data that gave us this map was this. So once you have done this, you come to insert, you go to when you click on this map, go to your chart design and select your sales data, you select data. Once you have done this, see it's covering this series, so we need to add it to the map. So how do we do it? You first of all remove this series that is here, then you put up your add. What are you adding? You can leave the name, come to the value, and you add the value from the beginning to the end. I click OK. Then you come to the edit and you edit the column. Edit the column. It says okay. So I click OK. So your map is back. And after you have done this, the next thing you are going to do is to link this map. See, this is linked to our values that we raise that is outside of pivot. So just like we did earlier, you see that our work is on column A and B on pivot, and this is showing D and E. So when you come to select data type, you come here again and remove D, replacing it with A. You come to E, replace with B, and say OK. So our pivot map has been captured, so we can now remove this, also remove this. Okay, so we'll also be guided. We just put it up and we'll say sys sorry, sys by state as a guide. Maybe for the sake of having a line chart, I may add just one more chart. I would like to see performance over period. So we'll come, maybe open this, any of them. Let's say rename, move or copy. We'll just create just one more. Okay. Or may decide to remove this profit by brand. No, the profit by brand is good. Let's leave it and look at profit by brand. Change. We can remove this and come to our and look at our sales by, let's see, invoice date. Okay, so we want to see the invoice date by beverage brand operating. I see it's showing it either in months or in year. I will remove the profits. I want to compare my invoice date by beverage brand a month. Let's see. But we'll reconstruct it so that you can be able to give us what we're looking for. We can remove this and see if we can put a value. Okay, so we have been able to bring our invoice date by beverage band. So we'll call this brand by date. Okay, then we'll now call this brand by date. Then we now see if we can able to chart this in our map. So we'll go to recommended value, but this time around we're going to take a line chart, and I may decide to take a line chart with marker giving me some leverage. We'll pick this, then we'll come to field and height. Okay, we'll do some little formatting. Okay, we're able to put this here. We can now remove this. Make it bold. So this we can do for now. We'll now give the title. We say it's a what? Brand by date. Brand by date. So we'll have this. So I've been able to get some charts ready for our work, but we now need to do just one more thing. We need to bring in some calculations to bring in some of our KPIs that we need to have a look at as the dashboard continue to engage. We can able to see some exciting values that may be coming up as our work progresses. Still need to format this to make it more beautiful. So, so need to manually do some formatting to this work. Go come to format, and we look at the field. I can set to manually change work to Okay. Does not give me what I wanted. Wanted to have different values of colors separately, but that's not a problem. We go ahead and go to our calculations now to begin to do some calculation that will help our work to have vibrancy. So when we come to calculation field, what do you really want to see? Want to look at the different brand and want to see as those brand are, want to see how is this the state. Want to look at the state first of all. I want to see the state and the sales per state. So we can able to pick out something important in our calculation. So want to see state. So this is our area of calculation. So you can come over here. And if you look at our field, it's not showing us formula bar. So you go to view in case you put up your formula bar. Okay. So when we have highlighted anyone, just come over to the formula bar and click your equal to. Then you go to want to get the unique values. So you use the function unique. When you use the function unique, it will give you the argument, which is the array by column and the exact ones. And you're able to bring up values. So where are we doing this? We're looking at it from data 1 and want to look at the state. So this is the state. So shift control down. Then you close and you put up your equal sign. You see that it has been able to populate our calculation region with the state, just one state at a time. So after we have done this, the next thing we are going to do is to bring out the sales values for the state. How do we do that? You go ahead to use the sum if function to bring about that desire. So you click on the next line, put up your equal to, then use sum if. So sum if function will give you the range, the criteria, and the sum range. So the range of your work, you go back to your data, click on the data, and the data we are looking at what the sales is where our interest is. So you keep it as the sales. Want to see the sales per state, so we can come to the sales per state and take up the whole range of sales per state as the instruction is. Then the next thing is the criteria. So what is the criteria? You come over again to the calculation where you are working, and where you are working, what do you do? The criteria is your state. So you take another argument, comma, then the next thing you're going to do is to now take the sum range of your sales. So you go back again to your data, and now you now go to your sales. Okay, so you go to your sales. This our seed. Then you take the range of your seed. After you have done that, then you close the argument and you enter it. You see that Illinois have a total sale of 74,170, which you can bring down to get for others. Okay, so it has been populated. So the next thing you do is to format by clicking on one. You format your cell by currency. You remove the decimal places. You change to dollar and say okay. You can do same. So I've been able to get the value of our state and say, so you can come over here and write your state, and you can write sales here, sales by state. Okay, so the next thing we'll do, you can also maybe format by color too. And then you can give it a table kind of formatting to make it look more presentable. So we have been able to do that for sales. We can also look at region and we'll see the sales by region. So for us to do, just use the same idea of what we just did before. So you now go ahead and click on here and put equal to, then you go to your data and look at your, first of all, what do we want to do here? We want to use the same unique function. So use the unique function and now go to our data and go to the region, because we're interested now in seeing what is happening in the region. So we check up on region and we shift it down and we close. So we have gotten our region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can write the region here. They also want to see the sales too by region. So that's equal to, we use the sum if function again. Sum if function, then the range, we'll go to data to get our range and we'll look at for the sales. We'll start from the region, which is defining our range, put our comma, go to calculation and define it here, put our comma, then we'll go again to the data and we'll go to sales. So the idea we're using here can be used for whatever you want to do. And you close and you put your enter. You can also come again and format your cell using currency, using decimal place, converting to dollar. If yours is not converted already, then we'll click, so we can now bring it down. We'll have our sales 2 here. So whenever you click on this, you see the formula that was used to bring the work into B. When you click on here, you see the formula that we use to make this happen. So you can also put it in tabular form and use this again. So make it bold, expand a bit, do the same thing here. Okay, what else again do we want to see in our work? So for the state, we can go to use it to see the best performing state in terms of sales. We can see the best region in terms of sales. We can also look at the retailers. We can look at the retailers too. So you come over again and put your equal to use your unique to bring it up. Then you go to your data and look at the retailers, bring it down and close and enter. We have seen a retailer. Want to see our best retailer. Remember, whatever we are doing is for academic sake. For companies, there will be specific requirements of what you need to do, except if you are asked to do maybe an insightful work which could give you, just discover something that has not been discovered, then you can be at liberty to do what you wish. So we just do these 3. Others can be done just for the emphasis of what we want to do. Then we can continue with our work. So we come here and we do equal to sum if. It's a conditional function. Then you go to your data. Now we are looking at retailer in terms of sales too. Just want to concentrate on sales. So the next is come back to calculation and then click on one math, then come back to calculation again and go to sales. Total sale and bring it down and we close and enter. This is also sales. Can go ahead to format using currency. Okay. Okay, so do few more formatting. We have retailer by sales. So just pick three. Well, let's look. Maybe we can add one more thing. Maybe no, it's okay. The idea covers whatever we want to do. So here we want to see the best sales. What is your product that is our best product? We'll come over here and look at our product again. We to get the best value. So we'll say the what is our the maximum value here or maximum sale. So write up our maximum sales here. For instance, want to see the maximum sales. So the maximum sales should be this portion. So how do we get it? We come over here and we put up our max function. So the max function has an argument numbers. So it is reading from here to here and we close. So once we have done that, we'll enter. So the value that is maximum is 2358.358225 is our maximum function here. So if that is our maximum function, we also want to know which product is actually in that maximum function. So look at the top item. Okay, so to do that, we use the item. We'll say which is the item that has given us this maximum function. So we use two embedded function. Come over here, we use the index and match function to achieve that. So how do we call up our index function? So we'll write index, we put our equal to tell the system that we are doing a function and put up index. So what is the requirement for index? It needs an array, row number or column number. Remember, index is only a pivot that can look for only one aspect. Index can look for either row or column. So the index is asking us for what? For the array. And what is our array? Our array here is this. We're looking at this, bringing everything down, and then we'll now introduce the match function. And the match function is looking at the lookup value. So what lookup value are we looking at? We are looking at this value. Say look up this value for me. Where are you looking at the value? You are looking at the value. You are looking at this value within this range of this value up to this value. It is what you have just done. And when you close it, it will now ask you the last question whether it is exact match or less than or greater than, and we'll say give us the exact match. And you now close it and close it. So when you enter, you see that it has given you the value that has that highest value. The item that has the highest function, of course, is Walmart, but we got this Walmart by calculation, not just by guessing. The reason is that when we begin to bring in other values, other updating our values, it will on its own iterate and go through the data and pick out the maximum based on the calculation we just did. So we'll repeat the same for the region and the state. That is why I want to make it simple. You can go ahead to format this work and make it to look maximum an item. Maybe we can also format it, make it red, make it bold. Here we can make it, maybe change the background to maybe light and thick. Okay, so for region 2, want to see the, copy this complete, put it over here, Ctrl V. Basically we are doing the same thing, so we'll do again. Here we'll put our function and we'll use our max function again. The max function is looking at this value up to this value and closing. So the highest value is 968 100. So we want to see which item has this highest value in region. We can call it the highest selling region or name. You can, it doesn't matter. So to get it again, we use our index function. We say index will ask you for what a range, and after it has asked you for a range, the next thing is you put up your match function, and the match function will ask you for a lookup value. I want to look up this value within this range to this range, and want to know if it is exact match or, of course, it's exact match we want to get. Oops, let's say challenge. Let's repeat. The function was not done very well. Let's go again. Start from the index. An index function is telling us to, okay, I saw the mistake I made. Taking this, I'm taking it down. Yes, I didn't do that. Then the next thing is to take up our match function again, and looking at this function, or looking at it from this range to this range, and we are taking the exact match, and we close. So the best selling region is the west, so we can also format and bolding it, maybe. So we'll also go for the state and see what is happening there in the state, and bring it closer. Okay, just leave it there. So the best state, so the maximum value maximum, and the item, which is the item the value carries. So for the maximum value here, we put up our equal to, and put up our max. Of our max, we are taking value from here down, and we close, and we enter. So the maximum value is this. So we want to know which state has this. So we'll come here and still use our unique function, and the unique function is asking us some criterias which we able to answer. Then we now go to the match function, unique. Look again. Look at, we are sorry, using index function. That is why it's always calling for viewing critically of what we are doing. Any deviation will give you a wrong answer. So we now put up our match function, and the match function is asking for a lookup value and a range of values. So pick up the range, through down, and close, and close again. So it's telling us that Indiana is the state that has the highest sales, and the value of the sales is also indicated. So having gotten this, we can now go ahead to work on our dashboard and also bring it to be. So having gotten this, now we are able to do some calculations which will guide our work. Then we'll go down again to our dashboard and begin to populate our dashboard and bring in other variables. So this is our dashboard. So the first thing we do is to make it look nicer. So go to view, and we'll remove the grid lines. So after we have removed the grid lines, we also come over here, for instance, and see if we can bring some slicers. Just click anywhere, go to insert, and see if there's a timeline. We'll have invoice date, so we can bring it up. Okay. Also, excuse me, go to insert, again, and look at our slicers and see how many we can be able to bring that will be important for our work. We'll look at the operating, look at the, can keep the retailers too, can touch on city if we wish, can look at the delivery company, just very few to buttress what we want to do, maybe operating margin, and then unit per price. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's just use this 5. Okay, so we'll have this. We can begin to bring them into our dashboard. Come again, I'm bringing up. Use Ctrl X to cut. Now use Ctrl V to bring it in. Okay, so now we have brought in our slicers and our timeline. Just leave it first. Go and bring our charts. Start by the first one. We just copy so that if there's any need for us to go back to bring it again, we can just bring it. Control V, quantity sold, Control C, Control V, sales per state, Control C, Control V, profit by brand, Control C, Control V, sales by region, Control C, Control V. So we have our values in the dashboard, so we begin to arrange our work. So the first thing I want you to look at, I want to start with the timeline. When you look at the timeline, once you have clicked on the timeline, look up on the menu bar. You will see timeline has appeared. Click on it. It will help you to format your work. We'll do your report connection, amongst others. One thing I didn't do, I didn't name this from the work. It makes your work look easy if when you have named them. For instance, this was not named in the pivot work, but you can also do it maybe under pivot analyze. You can copy the name, sales by region, for instance. You can copy it and come over here and place it so that it can guide you. We can do it for the rest. So let's just do it. It's a good practice. Quantity sold by retailers. Control C. Sales by state. can do. So let's just continue with this for now and begin to arrange the work. We start continue to build it up gradually. So for the timeline, as I was saying, click on the timeline. It will allow you to do a lot of things here. You can resize and reshape. You can remove the headings. You can change the headings. You can do a lot of things. For instance, you can decide to reduce the width just by clicking this. You see that the width is reducing on its own to the size that you want to see it appear. You can also reduce it again. Its height too can be reduced. Can reduce the height. Can reduce the height. It has header. You can also remove the header. You can bring it back. You can select the label. Like I said, not to select the label. The time level is at your discretion. The scroll bar, I said to remove the scroll bar, and the scroll bar will just be by these edges. So they are all at your discretion. So after you have done that, okay. So before we continue, I would like to give a space. This space will be used for one or two important things. Okay. So to do that, we'll come to the insert, go to illustration, go to shape, you pick up the square or the rectangle and fit it to shape. It's always good to do this. It will help you to give a title to your work, and you make your work look more nicer than trying to write on the reduce this so that, well, sometimes you may be struggling with enough space. So wait at you here and drag it down here. Okay. So can now put your timeline. So the next thing you do is look at the deliverables that are there for the slicers. We'll have unit price, we'll have delivery frame. So we'll now begin to reduce it first to see how it will fit into the work. Operating margin, shift it out a bit. Retail. So we're still going to go to the slicer too. I will show you what to do there. Just doing one or two reduction. We'll do most of them on the slicer. remember your dashboard does not have all the space that you desire, so it calls for your ingenuity and thoughtfulness. Our slicers are should be 5. Is another slicer. Bring it closer. Okay. Having done this, now let's go back again and click on any of the slicer. The delivery company slicer will come up here, so you click on it. You see it gives you room to, it's showing just one column. You can decide to increase it to 2. You see it is split into 2. You can even split it again to 3, even up to 4. So, but remember, do what makes what sense. So if we have this 1 and 2, we can so reduce it. Okay, having this, you can now bring the next one close, and you also come and maybe have it as 2 again. So we bring the operating capital, the unit price, you can also come to the slicer and give us part 2 for unit price. So the idea is for you to capture the essentials, or what you define as the essential. So what that has been captured, it will not be easy for you to view it in totality. So this is operating price. You can also make it to be 2. So what is left here, we have not done, is the CT. So we can also, for instance, come to the timeline and see if we can be able to reduce it. But reducing this way will not give you what you're looking for. So you come again to the timeline, open it up, see if you can reduce the noise date. We can even remove the header and use the scroll bar, then put back the timeline, the selection level, and now bring it up. Okay. Bring the selection label. Want to see what works best for us. Adopt that. Okay. Then also look at this. Are we going with month, quarter? We could leave it at this first. Better we'll begin to look at other functionalities. We will now know what to do. Now for this, we can look at the slicer and see if we can be able to manipulate or reduce, maybe see how the slicer can be reduced or increased. Even sizes can also be reduced as well. We'll come over here too and reduce. Even the height can be reduced. Can also reduce the height of this by trying to accommodate space. So the beauty is that whatever you have done, be sure you do it for the nest so that it will maintain uniformity, especially for the slicer. Okay. So you also reduce this. And reduce this too. And this is to allow us to accommodate the next criteria. Okay, so we can now bring the city down. Come a bit down. And we'll now work on the city. We can first of all reduce it. Now bring it. So once we have done this, now click on any one of the slicer, hold on your shift, then click on the next, the remaining ones, one after the other. Once you have done that, you can see on your slicer, click on your slicer, you go to align. When you go to the align, remember it's standing straight, so you distribute horizontally. And once you have done this, you can able to, once you just hold one, the rest will move together, so it will allow you to maneuver and set your work better. Whatever you want to see can be done there. Then another thing again, you can still hold it again, so that, remember this is a class, you continue to learn and understand. You can go back again to the slicer, and then you can choose what you want. Assuming you want to do something like this, is the reason why it's not showing all of them are not hold. So let's do it again. Shift, so the whole is, so then, okay, so you want to choose the color, or the color will be choosing at once. So for the timeline, you go to timeline, maybe choose a different setting, and that will show for you. So after you have done this, so we'll now go back again and continue our formatting. So for convenience, I'm thinking of just removing this. We can remove this so that we don't declare our work. Let's just use four values. Okay. So now, so the formatting is in stage. As you continue to do other things, your formatting will take a different dimension. So don't worry, you see it here. So you try as much as possible within the limited space that you have to put up something that is worthwhile, that gives immediate impression to the stakeholders, to your audience, to your colleague, to your co-researcher, amongst any. Whatever you do don't like, just click and to bring it back there. You can now do it properly. So having something like this is nice, but it is not yet perfect. We're still looking at bring this down a bit. See if we can. You can also use the align we just use for the slides that was also shaping this to make it better. You look at the shape that was in one, then you can replicate that shape for the other. You can, but it's not only one way we have in this work. We have a lot of things we can do. Like yeah, I can also format my legend and put it on top by the side, maybe put it by the left so that it will not too much intercept or interrupt our work. You can also format this work. You come to format here. Um, you can go to design and look at the color in it. Maybe you can change the color to be closer to what we are doing here. Whatever you choose. Remember, companies has logo, and the logo is in line with their work. So you have to be mindful of that as you engage. Okay. So once you have done this, you can also add a little bit of professionalism to your work. You go again to insert, come to illustrate, and pick up yet another shape. This time it will help you to remove all these branded titles that came with your work to make your work better, or to say more presentable to your audience. So you can either you format everything, then you duplicate, or you can duplicate and format individually. There's no fast rule about it. The only thing is that you should make your work look interesting and professional in nature. That is what is required and nothing more. So I can Ctrl C and Ctrl V into 4 places, then pick them up and put. This is the first stage. We are still coming back. Remember, formatting is what differentiates your work from others. So I can look at this and decide to first of all change the color of the fill, something that is not too okay. Then I can come here and also change the color of this, something closer to what we have seen already. Here, something like this. Okay, so the next thing we do is we format this sales by region. So I can come here and write sales by region. I change the to black, bolding it, then align it and bring it to the center, and also increase it. If this is okay by me, once I've done that, I can now come over here and remove this and replace it with this sales by region. And the next one is brand by date. So brand by date, bolding it, and change to black and bring it to center and increase. Let's see this is size 14, so I can also bring this to size 14. Then we'll now remove this. Don't worry, whatever you don't like, take this step back. We'll address that. We're still in the building stage, so you don't need to bother too much. So the next one here is sales by state. Sales by state. Control B. 14. Okay. So remove this. So this is quantity sold by retailers. Quantity sold by retailers. To be black, grade to font 14, and so we bring here. So the next thing we'll be doing is to begin to work on this dashboard to make it dynamic. This dashboard is not dynamic and it is rigid, so it is not yet softened to expectation. So how do we do that? We do it individually. You click on the first chart. When you click on it, you see format. Go to format, then you go to shape outline, click on it and make it to have no outline. Do the same for all of them. Remove the no outline. You see why we are doing that. Format, no outline. Format, no outline. Okay, so after we have done this, you can see that the outline has been removed. The one that have not been removed, we'll still go ahead again and let's look at this again to be sure that the outline has been removed. No outline. So you can see that is very, very plain now. There's no outline here. So the next thing you're going to do is that we are going to look at our work again and see if we can be able to have connectivity. Now, for instance, this is a dashboard. I will just click on maybe to see what delivery DHL has done. You see that it's only the brand date that has been affected, and FedEx, the same thing, CSV, just one, and you will begin to wonder why. So to overcome it, all you need to do is you click on your timeline. First of all, click on each of them to solve that. Go to report connection. You see that it's only brand by date that is checked. That is why it is only affecting brand by date. So you can go ahead and check the rest. Remember, I removed one of the dashboard which was, I don't want to have too much congested band. That is why I removed it, but I just check it here, but it has no real consequence here. So you go again to the slicers and go to connection for each of them and check the connections. Check the connections and click OK. Go to retailer and do the same. Check the connections. See, we are taking our time to look at what slicers, how we are able to format and use them to become very, very interactive for us. So you check everything. Remember, I removed one, but it's of no consequence for us. Then the city, so having done this, you can go again and click on the DHL, for instance, delivery company, and you can see that it's affecting every aspect of our work, but we have not yet concluded, so we can leave that for now. So what next do we have to do? We'll look at our delivery company. We can decide to still write we can go to the slicer setting and rewrite this delivery company maybe in capital letter. For instance, delivery company, for instance, and it is changed. And also do so for uniformity's sake. You can also do that for the rest. Retailer, why we do this is that sometimes there's names that are not palatable to what you want to do, so you can be able to control it there. Price per unit. Operating margin. City. Okay. So the next thing you will do is to come again to conclude our formatting. You look at your work very well to see this color is not coming out the way we need. We can change it to black so that it can be more visible. We don't need to strain our eyes to see what is on our table. We can come over here. We can also format our label. We can come to the over here and change. I want to look at the marks. It's not showing here. So we'll leave it the way it is. Just make sure it's bolding so it's more legible. So we'll now come over and go to the view again. Excuse me. Remove it from, make sure it's not on any distance. Then you go to headings. You can remove the headings. You can remove the no, we have not finished your formula bar, so let it be there first. We'll get to that. See, now that we have removed heading, we have gotten some spacing for our work, so we can now be able to now reformat our work a bit again to make it presentable. You can also increase your space. Okay. 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 So you can also increase the font size. Let's be sure that okay. Okay. This you can reduce a bit. Okay. Okay. I've been able to, you can also touch a bit on your slicer. So we've been able to increase the size. So your work is near perfect. So the next thing you do, you align, go to shape format and align your work, align to middle. Okay. Also do the same here. You align to the middle. Okay. So the next thing you do is to now see how to bring in our calculation and also the title. Remember, this work has a title. It is Coca-Cola financial product. So for you to do that, you can maybe bring out yet another insert. so that it doesn't interfere with your work. You can shape it on the same shape with what you have already. Then you bring it up. Can be here. And I will now write Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola financial reports, financial reporting dashboard. So you Control B. I may decide to maybe put it at the center, increase the font size, maybe also change the to something else. Then you go to the fill and also change it to something different. Color, maybe this color. So this is the name. Why we are leaving this space is to allow us to finish on what we have started on our calculation bar. But we need to make wise use of our space. So to now bring in our values, we'll go back again to our calculation. Want to look at the best state, best region, and best retailer. That's what we're looking at. So we'll go back to our work and see how to do that there. So we'll come again and we'll go to insert and we pick up a shape. So Control V, Control Z. Let's align the shape so that we don't need to overstretch and see how it will align here. Okay. Control C, Control V, 3. Okay. We can even make it 6, 4, 5, 6, and see how we can go to one. So we can now remember your indicators or your KPI. You are the one to determine how it looks like. This is your GT. It is what you design that your audience will follow. So for this, I will change the I want to use color that is closely, use yellow color, to use the color that they use here. And this I use brown. So the first is best state. Best state. Best state. Control B. So I can best region. You can also do that by color painter, and the best was the third thing we're looking at, the best retailer. Okay, so we look at best retailer. So we are the one that define our criteria which we are using. Company may decide to give you specific, then you don't have any choice but to go along with their requirement. So best retailer. So now how do we assign this so that the system can be able to recognize it? Okay, we now align it very well. Go to format shape, go to align, distribute horizontally. Okay, so we now go to the work. Want to now get the best state for the region. We'll bring it closer to I want to know what and for the retail also bring it closer. Okay, can still line it. Horizontal, distribute horizontally. Okay, it's all right. So to get our best state, we use our function equal to, then we'll go to where our calculation is. When we get to a calculation, we want to see the best state. and this is a best state. Then we'll just enter and see it has pulled the Indiana straight into the dashboard. So for these two, we repeat the same. Go to our calculation, want to see our best region, so which is waste by calculation, and we'll click enter, and our best region is also captured. For the last one, want to see the best retailer, so we'll go again, go to calculations, and click on the best retailer which we got by calculation, and you can see that it has been added. So we can also format, make it look nicer, can center it, and do the same here. And do the same here. So what we have done this is that once the data begins to update itself and there's changes in values of sales for state and for region and the dimension of the retailer, it will also affect whatever value we are going to see on the top of our dashboard. So that is why we say it's interactive. So having done this, we can be able to now look at our dashboard again and see if we can do something. The names are not coming up. Want to see if our name can come up. Roof picture is not here. Let's look at the other side of our formatting. Click here and see. We need to get the data label. It's more option. I see the properties. Move size, move. No, it's not looking for the option that will allow us to write or give us the names, which have not come up yet. Format label, let's see. Okay, category name. Want to see the category name together with I think this is okay. Okay, so this is what we want to see. Okay, so we can now go ahead to go to the view again. We can now remove the formula bar, so it will make our work look more professional. And the last thing we'll do is okay, before we do that, we'd like to now test our dashboard. It has been aggregated into months and the rest. We would like to see maybe August. You can see that it says for August has been shown for the different regions. This is stock. We can decide to maybe we can leave it at that, but maybe for the sake of the place that is bit, we can maybe put red and see how it looks like. Okay, for now, so we can be able to see the west, the southwest, and the region. We can also sort this maybe from largest to smallest to make it look more presentable. What else again do we need to do? Okay, so we can also look at sales by September, as the case may be. Okay, we can bring it to years 2022. You can see the sales for 2022 amongst others. Can bring it back again to months. Okay, now we can look at the retailers individually and their contribution. We can start to look at Kosovo. Kosovo was making impact in the south, and this is the sales value, and you can see their brand, the unit as the month goes by dropping between January and June and July, and the region in which is making most of its sales, Texas, with the value. You can also look at CVS. Okay, we can close this. We can look at the operating margin. Look at the separate margin 0.4. Which area is operating on operating margin? You can see the region just by display. I can see. Okay, so now we have succeeded in getting an interactive dashboard for Coca-Cola financial reporting dashboard. Let us now see if we can be able to update our values. Remember, our data was split into two. We have the first data which was used for this work, and the second data was not applied. So now we want to now open up this second data and now see if we can be able to copy it from the start to the end and now introduce it to our data one. But before then, let's have a look again at our dashboard and see how our dashboard has been faring. Have a very good look at this. Okay. Before we now go ahead to add this value to our dashboard one, which is the original value of the work, you can paste. Go ahead and do what? Paste. So our work has been pasted, so that means we assume that new set of values has now been added to this work. And after we have done that, we go back to our dashboard again, and it looks as if nothing has actually happened. So we'll go to insert, and we'll go to insert. We can decide to maybe click on a particular value. Just click on everything and go to pivot chart analyze, and you will see there's a refresh. Then you refresh everything. After you have refreshed everything, you can see that our chart has changed. The brand by date has now become a straight line with the same value, but our other values has also changed, and our calculation has been affected. Let's see what happened while we're having a challenge in our calculation. To see there's an issue with our calculation for state showing spill error, and that is why we have not been able to see value for the state. But for the region, there have been increased changes in the value, and the west is still highest. And for the retail, the value also has increased and Walmart was still highest. So we need to know why our calculation for the state was affected. It should not be the challenge for this class. It should not be the challenge for this class. So we'll leave it at that. Then we'll continue. But know that if you have this kind of issue, you always go back and do what? And resolve it so that you can be able to have a leeway. So the next thing we will do is that we'll now try to hide some of these. Remember, it is a dashboard. So because it's a dashboard, we need to hide some things to cover this to make it look more nicer like a dashboard. Then we'll come over here, click on the brand, click on shift and click on this. Just be clicking on them while your hand is on shift. What we are doing this is to hide some of this so that it's not visible to any kind of person except for those that need to see it. So after you have done that, you remove your hand for the shift, then right click and click on hide. So once you have done that, you see that it's only dashboard that will be showing on your screen. And even at that, you can even still do some little formatting again so that you can able to take up better space. You can give you room to maybe maneuver your work again to make it look more presentable because you're having more space, more presenting space to direct your work. So that is the essence of looking for more space so that you can also have more room to maneuver your work so that at a glance your stakeholders and those that need to see the work will have a lot of understanding with respect to whatever you have done. Okay, so you can also do this, but I'm not going to touch this, but you can also do this. You can expand it and make it look nicer. So this is our dashboard, interactive dashboard that can update itself if new data are entered into it, and it has a lot of insight. It was made just from the data we have. So I will be stopping here. We have been able to do justice to dashboard, interactive dashboard. We have been able to have two classes on it, one that didn't have calculation and this one that has calculation. Outside of that, we have been able to look at what we can do with slicers and timelines to make it more interesting. In the next class, we'll be looking at how to use VLOOKUP, how to use HLOOKUP, index and index match, amongst other important functionaries in Excel. We are trying to do that. After that, we will now begin to look at how to use Power Query to do our work, and the excitement continues. And if you're able to do something like this for yourself, I think it's time you sit down and take a bottle of champagne and pat yourself on the back and tell yourself that you are becoming proficient in the use of Excel. Remember, you can always reach us by indicating your code and also the class that you have issues with, and you send us a mail through crystaldataconcept@gmail.com, and you can also send out WhatsApp message through the line that is on our advertorial 08135429899. Till we see again, may knowledge be with you. My name is Jude Chukodi Ilobelu. Have a nice day and bye-bye.
In today's world, data is the new gold. Data scientists unlock insights from raw information. They use statistical methods to analyze trends. Data analysts convert data into visual stories. By creating dashboards, they help organizations make informed decisions. Machine learning models can predict future outcomes. They identify patterns that aren't visible to the naked eye. Data cleaning ensures accuracy in analysis. Collaboration across departments enhances data insights. They utilize programming languages like Python and R for analysis. Cloud computing resources expand their capabilities. With big data, they tackle complex challenges across industries. Ethics in data science ensures responsible use of information. The future of data science looks bright with endless possibilities.